Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal Arguments No Preps. Let's go. Now, I don't even know what it says. It's not coming up yet on my screen. But I am your host, Jay Fry, and with me is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's Monday. We're back. Take a week off, and you lose track of time and how to do all this crap. So there's that.
Wait, so we can blame this on you? All right.
Sweet. I'm good with it.
It works. And Garrick, the backbone, the linchpin of the organization.
Oh, wow. It's that important, is it? Jeez. So much pressure. I don't know. I've been working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for the last month, more or less. So now I'm finally done. Thank
I almost
God.
had you beat. For the last 2.5 weeks, I've been working 13-hour days.
Almost had me beat.
Yeah. But I've got another week still.
I'm limited to
That's
40
pretty close
hours.
to one.
But people are
Lucky
back in the
you.
office now.
Yeah, lucky you.
Last week I worked 83 hours. From Saturday to Sunday, I worked 83 hours last week.
I mean, OT is nice until you see how much you're getting raped on taxes.
Try not to pay them.
Oh yeah. I don't do that. I don't do that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
My W-2, like I try to guess what my paycheck is,
Mm-hmm.
and as long as it's like remotely close to that, I don't look at my paycheck or my actual stuff.
Mm.
So what do we got this week, boys?
But nothing. No. What do you feel like talking about? We could just bitch for a minute about the amazing Jake Paul, Logan Paul, which Paul?
Logan.
Fighting Floyd Mayweather. So it is Logan Paul.
Pretty sure. Let me check.
All right. So because my only complaint is Jake Paul, his tweet that Mayweather's now 50-1. Like out of this whole debacle, the only real tweet I got, or the only real comment I have, it was an exhibition fight. It doesn't go on the record. It doesn't count as a loss for Mayweather, or a tie even.
Yeah, it's
in
Logan
his
Paul.
professional record. All right, so Jake Paul's tweet is my only issue. Well, aside from that, I heard Showtime actually had like a really shitty stream.
Yeah, I
I
heard
saw.
that when the main event started, it crapped out for a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. So either people bought just the main event somehow, like maybe on like an app or something, or whatever. It was the shit show for the main event. Ocho Cinco managed to go 4 rounds with an actual boxer. So I don't even remember his real name.
No, he legally
Number
changed it to Ocho Cinco.
Oh, that's right. So it is his real name.
Yep, that is his real name.
At least he didn't shoot himself in the leg. So props there, Ocho Cinco. Who is that? Something Burris?
I don't remember.
Purcell? Purcell? Plexico Burris. I knew it was something stupid. Running guy. Whole point of his career, running. Shoots himself in the leg.
Well, again,
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say brains aren't in the equation there.
if you guys don't have a comment, that's actually a pretty good transition into another comment that's pretty funny to me this week.
What's that?
The NFL is putting $1 billion into their concussion fund and fighting race normalcy, race norming. They they started the cognitive tests for the black players at a lower number than the white players, and the black players are upset about that. And as part of diversity and whatnot, they are going with the not racism and giving them a higher IQ starting point. Nowadays, they do cognitive testing but at the start of your career. It was still kind of shady because by the time I was in high school, I had played 10 years of football. Going into college. So that's 10 years of bumps and concussions and bruises already. So you're starting at a devalued state. Your body isn't in perfect health. So for a college player, that's, even if they started off only going in high school and getting an amazing career, that's 4 years of getting your ass kicked. Then 4 years of college getting your ass kicked before you're in the NFL. So that's 8 years.
Yeah. But they don't care about anything other than the starting baseline, which is fine.
So I'm like, hey, I took an IQ test when I was 8. We start with that one? Let me do another IQ test to get there. But yeah, so more racism, and they threw $1 billion at it. I don't think that's racism. I think that's money fuckery. But if you do the standard IQ test across the board, one of the lowest levels in the world, parts Africa. It's just
that's because the IQ test is racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say due to whiteness, the IQ test is I've got a buddy who is as sharp as a brick, but he is at near savant levels with playing the guitar. It only accounts for certain areas of IQ. There is no physical IQ in your IQ test. Your intellectual quotient is pretty narrowly defined.
It's in the name, Jay. It's intellectual quotient. If you're not intellectual, you have a low number. No matter what other abilities you have, if you're not intellectual, it's a low number.
Mm-hmm.
You may be the cleverest guy on the planet, but if you're not intellectual, you have a low number.
One of my favorite burns of all time is when I talk to these people and explain to them they've been too educated to be smart. Like you have learned too much to be intelligent.
Right.
About
There's a
stupid
certain
shit.
point where you start absorbing shit that doesn't help you and makes you dumber.
I mean, that's my life. I can name like 5th level players in movies, and I'm pretty sure about New Hampshire's capital. Not even positive, but or was it Vermont? Montpelier. That's Vermont.
Yeah. What's New Hampshire's?
Didn't I just say I didn't know New Hampshire's?
I was gonna say I used to know Hampshire's. I can tell you what it's not. It's not
I can't even
Tilton and
think
it's
of-
not Manchester, but it's between the two. And I cannot, for the life of me, think of what its damn name is.
You know what? I got this thing here right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on 3 seconds. Capital of New Hampshire.
Concord is the capital of New Hampshire.
Concord.
Concord. See? It's shit like that, man. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna check. Was I right about Vermont? Capital of Vermont.
Montpelier.
Montpelier is the capital of
I
Vermont.
was just checking, making sure. It'd be really stupid to be like, I mean, I'm kind of smart. I know shit like the capital of Vermont, which is Montpelier, and they're like, actually, it's Boise. Wait, what? Somebody said Boise was Boise, and I thought that was funny. Like, I'm almost positive you're wrong.
We've managed to get Black Magic riled up. He's in New Hampshire.
My thing still isn't loading for you two.
Which one of us said it wrong? Is it Concord or Concord?
Oh fuck! I don't even care. Let me know in the chat. Is it not Concord?
It is Concord, but they say it.
Wait, which way am I saying it?
You're saying Concord.
So you say it
Concord.
Concord, yeah.
Like the word conquered.
Like, oh, well, like with a Q?
Like as in conquest?
Who's right?
I don't know. We're waiting for Black Magic to hear it, and then he can tell us.
And he's just gonna ask me to fight him. It's pretty.
He already
pretty
has
standard
twice.
operating procedure here. Ah.
Oh, hey, I got it right. It's Concord.
I'll get
Concord.
Oh, it's Concord.
That's
So,
just wrong.
What are we saying? U instead of O?
Well, much like everything in the Northeast, it's spelled one way and said another. Go ahead and look up the spelling of Worcester.
Well, I mean, I'm one to bitch and complain about such a thing.
You're lucky. Philadelphia is the capital of Pennsylvania, because so many of Philadelphia is so much of it is like that. Wait, it's Philadelphia, right?
No, it's Harrisburg.
Is it? Because I thought about that for God damn it.
Philadelphia was
like
the
Michigan's
nation's,
like that.
Yeah, Philadelphia was the nation's first capital.
Yeah, that's right. Michigan's like that. Like, if you're not from Michigan, most people think it's Detroit. But I actually had somebody the other day. Well, it was like 2 years ago, actually. So the other day of my life, said it was Flint. I'm like, no, that's in the news for a different reason. Completely different reason. We don't have water there. It's a thing. No, it's Lansing. I used to be smart.
I think if you live in a state, you should know what the capital is, but if you don't live there, who cares?
Yeah. Lexington? Is that Kentucky?
Don't live there, don't know. But Lexington is a town in Kentucky.
I think it's Lexington.
That should probably not be close to the microphone. Well, let in.
What's Arizona?
Let in red. Phoenix.
It is Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was thinking Flagstaff.
Definitely not. Used to be Prescott. Originally, it was
I was
Prescott.
thinking Tempe, too.
They moved it down to Phoenix, which used to be called Pumpkin Center. Why a town in the middle of the frickin' desert is called Pumpkin Center, I have no idea, but it was.
I saw this fucking stupid, nonsensy, dumb shit on Facebook bitching about pineapples in Hawaii, all over the term Hawaiian pizza. Which isn't even like the worst part. Like this, there's a cat sneaking at a pizza box and she takes a picture before she catches the cat. The cat catches the slice, and after. And she's like, I like Hawaiian pizza. Don't shame me for pineapples on pizza. And I'm like, I think I see cranberries on your pizza. I'm not going to bitch about your, what the fuck's going on here? And somebody in the comments went off about calling that pizza Hawaiian because Hawaiians aren't indigenous to the island, and there was that is why we annexed America, annexed Hawaii. And I'm like, that's not really why we annexed Hawaii. There was a whole Pacific reason we annexed Hawaii. It's a completely different reason. We almost annexed Cuba for a similar reason.
So we got Puerto Rico instead.
Yeah. I didn't know. That's the next transition.
Hawaiian pizza is called Hawaiian pizza because pineapples come from Hawaii, and ham is a big part of their diet.
Actually, Spam is a big part of their diet, but yeah, canned ham is another big staple. But Puerto Rican transition. We've got a.
Can you let Josh in, please?
Oh, how am I not? What the hell's the deal here?
Sorry, I had a phone call.
I'm fine with that, but
So somebody's
you're gonna
having
have
some
to.
issues.
Let's see here. Oh, he doesn't have the current link. He has the old link.
yeah, I'm gonna email it to him. The one time he wants to join in 3 months. Why is this taking forever? Shut it. It's my new phone, so I don't know how to mute it.
What kind did you get?
Motorola G5 Ace. It's got like a 2-day battery, and I liked everything about it until I bought it. I still like everything about it, don't get me wrong. But I'm an LG guy. So all my cords are micro USB. And this thing's a USB-C.
All new phones are USB-C.
Yeah, except for the iPhones.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still Lightning.
Well, then I don't feel that bad at all. Because my new Bluetooth is USB-C, and this is USB-C. So I went out and bought all new cables. Like I bought like a nice one for work, and then I bought a bunch of bullshit cheap ones because when I'm sitting on the couch, I kind of just rest the phone charger on my my big fat fucking belly, and it only lasts about like a month and a half. So I'd rather spend $8 on a shitty one that lasts a month and a half than a nice one that only lasts a month and a half. that's really what I'm doing there.
Yeah, all USB powered electronics should be making the switch to C connectors. The problem is that there are a couple extra wires in them, which makes them more expensive. So companies were dragging their feet and switching over from micro to USB-C.
I didn't know that. I thought USB, micro USB, was the universal switch.
It was
But,
the first universal switch. The second one is USB-C, mostly because it's bidirectional. You can't plug it in backwards.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Exactly. And then it also has a longer disconnect life, whereas the micros crap out quicker.
From the plugs?
Yep.
Oh, I like that as well.
Yes. No, everything about going to USB-C is bueno. And the problem is that they're more expensive and companies don't want to spend the money on it.
Well, I buy shit ones because I kind of wreck my cords pretty fast. Next one, Steven Suarez, my buddy Steve. We were FaceTiming earlier, and because I got a new phone, so I'm FaceTiming. And he was telling me about angled phone charger cords. So they're not straight; they have the built-in bend in the reinforced part. So my next cable purchase in a month is definitely going to be a L-shaped charger cord. What? Sent. But it's a new phone, so I've got to get used to a new alphabet typing kind of thingy. But I don't know if you saw or not. I found the sent key. Did you catch that the other day? I found the sent key.
There's a cent key?
Yeah, for sent.
I did not know that.
For, dollars and cents.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's an alt key, isn't it?
No, I don't have it on my LG. Just does not have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I sent it to you idiots the other day. We were talking about Jim Jones being a hell of a boxer, and about the links and the subs and because that's my new phone has Metro News, and like half of the damn things are Wall Street Journal and stuff, and yeah. Shut up. Somehow mute yourself. But seriously, are you not getting the link? What the shit, man?
I sent it. It looks different, but I sent it and it works. I tested it.
Oh, that's you. Yeah, okay. Volume down. There we go.
So it looks like the feds tracked down the Bitcoin that the pipeline used to pay off the Russian scammers, hackers, whatever you want to call them, and then seized it.
That's dumb.
Yeah, well, the question is they going to give it back to the pipeline company?
Yeah, arrest people. Don't just seize funds. Welcome, sir.
Howdy.
Howdy. Yeah, I'd make arrests, or else you're just leaving it open to it all happening again. Which, if you remember, didn't happen once in the Trump administration.
Neither did school shootings, and those are on the rise again.
Well,
convenient.
they did cancel school for everybody.
Oh, Josh,
We were
I
running
wanted to
late,
tell
too.
you, I found a store that has 9 mil in stock.
Ooh.
Yeah, the reason it's in stock is they're charging $1.25 a round.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oof.
I mean, shotgun's expensive, but I'm not paying $1 a round for shotgun shells.
Mm-mm.
I'll just ask people nicely to leave.
You couldn't find crappy steel or aluminum case ammo?
Well, I mean, this wasn't great. This was, fully jacketed flat-tipped range ammo. Under
You
grain.
can fire bullshit rounds. Sean's got nothing but $1,300 six, like an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them is a
There's-
9. One of them is a 9. So
I mean, I don't have a SIG in
Is
9.
it-
You know, I have a,
is it
I have
a
SIG in
9?
45, so.
Or is it a 9 barrel?
no, that one's a 9. That one's only a 9. It's the other one that's a 357 and 40.
Yeah. If it doesn't cost 50 cents a round, I'm not firing it through my M9A1. That was an expensive gun.
Yeah. I wish I could find a Browning in 357 SIG. I mean, if I'm going to pay $1 a round, I might as well shoot that because I think it's actually maybe worth it.
Yeah. So speaking of Puerto Rico, is where we were originally going
Yes.
with that transition. AOC, I don't know how this works, but Matt Walsh, to own the libtards, charitably raised $100,000 for AOC's abuela. Again, I don't know how that works. The owning the libs by literally giving them $100K. But in the nature of conservatism, we are a charitable lot, and he raised $100,000 to help ANC's ancestral home, the home of her abuela, to fund the renovations that were not being done by hand-me-down socialism. And just some member of her family rejected it. I don't know how that works, but they did it, which would really piss me off. And the money got refunded back to the individual recipients. So really, Matt Walsh is an American hero for owning AOC, raising $100,000, and not paying her while still getting the credit for it.
Yep.
That's how you own somebody. Stupidest thing I ever heard of, but that's how you own somebody. But that's the whole thing. Not Brandon. Scott Pressler is cleaning up lib cities one alleyway at a time, and it's charitable work. And yeah, you're owning the libs. Ha 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 ha. You're still being successful in what you're doing, and you feel good at the end of the day. So fuck everybody.
Going back to the AOC thing, though, but it's entirely possible it was rejected because it would have been proven to be a fraud.
Well, my whole thing is that some family member. Like, I want a fucking name. Who rejected it on behalf of her abuela? Because that's who it would have gone to, right?
Theoretically, but what could be the case is that AOC put up a fraudulent picture in order to make a point. So the basis of the charity was based on those pictures. If those pictures were a fraud and they took the money, that would be exposed. So their only way out is to say no thank you to the money and save face. Take a little bit of a beating by basically making Matt Walsh look like a good guy, but avoid the actual fraud.
Well, there's no way to not make him look like a good guy at that point. Like, I don't care for the dude, but that's a hell of a thing. Finally, my YouTube's up and running, so I can comment on you assholes. Metal roof, good money. Rip abuela. Yeah, nothing worth commenting on. Piece of shit.
So what are we discussing tonight?
This is not planned today.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the Mayweather fight. You got anything on that?
That was the
Logan.
gayest thing I'd ever seen since Brokeback Mountain. I'd never seen 2 men hug so much.
I've never seen Brokeback Mountain. I think I'm gonna go
Well,
ahead.
they
and
hugged
still
so
pass
much
on that.
because they were celebrating the fact that they just fleeced all the people who were watching it for several $1 million each.
That too, I'm sure.
Well, it's an exhibition fight, which literally means the gloves are nearly twice the size and are twice the weight of regulation boxing gloves. At the end of an exhibition fight, you're supposed to come out still looking pretty.
Could discuss possible tensions rising with China if we wanted to.
There's so many fronts that's rising on. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
But what else you got?
We could talk about been doing crypto as of late and thinking about inflation and
crypto is the next talking point. I think Garrick raised it, right? Or was that you, Sean?
It was me.
Oh, it was you? All right. So Garrick has still been useless today. Got it.
I mean, I was going to go into Joe Biden's emails, but we'll get around to it, I'm sure.
Joe Biden's emails?
What?
I mean, Dr. Fauci's emails. My bad.
Yeah, that's what we got a couple comments on that. All right, so in order, first is crypto, then we'll do the emails, then we'll do the rising tensions with China because it's kind of the emails. We'll mention that. Also, the California gun law reversal is.
Yeah, but it's just the federal court. It's still got to go to the Ninth Circuit. So yeah, that's a thing. And there's also a 30-day stay on it as well.
Well, yeah, but that 30-day stay is where we're currently at, which is cute because the 30th day is the 4th of July. So California might get actual independence. All right, so what was the first one?
Crypto
for Sean has the lead on crypto.
I've got the lead on crypto. Well, as I had mentioned before, the feds tracked down the money that the pipeline paid, the bitcoins that they used to pay the ransom for the pipeline shutdown, and seized it. And
where was it going to?
Hey, don't forget I have the peanut butter powder and the chocolate. Don't forget I have the peanut butter powder and the chocolate powder up there too.
You want to go ahead and
forget I got the mute button.
There we go.
Mute it.
Okay, so
you really want to hear this?
No.
Let me bring the microphone closer to the blender, said nobody ever.
Jesus. So I don't know. I didn't read the article, but when the article hit, Bitcoin dropped like 5%.
Because of tracking?
Well, because Bitcoin was
ability to
seized by
track
the
it?
feds. So people who decided that they don't want a seizable currency decided to get out of Bitcoin, is basically what that tells me.
So basically what you're saying is I should sell all my Bitcoin that I do have.
It's the feds. The feds have the most brilliant computer people the federal budget can buy. Not the best.
I was about to say, don't say the best, because that's not true.
well, within the that they can buy.
Yeah. I mean, they employ Fauci, and I'm sure he's well overpaid.
Well, FBI doesn't employ. Well, Fauci is overpaid. Fauci makes he makes more than the president.
Yeah.
President makes 400,000. Fauci makes for like 460.
Well, I think the president makes like 435 or something like that, and yeah, Fauci makes like 470 or whatever.
That dude should barely crack six figures.
I really think that the president should make 538.
Am I missing something?
The number of electoral votes.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Clever.
That's 270. That's 271. Really, if we're talking. If we're being honest here.
For every electoral vote he gets another $1,000.
His
Yeah,
salary
that's
is
not a bad
determined by the amount of electoral votes he has. I like it.
El Salvador, Sally. Yeah, El Salvador announced that they're taking Bitcoin as legal tender, just like their national currency.
Saw that. And then the idiots at Dogecoin, even though I have Dogecoin, they fucking crashed the Bitcoin concert. They remind me of the Rick and Morty people. That's what they remind me of.
I just want them to drive it up over 70 cents so I can get out of it.
I mean, I'm in at 30 cents per Doge, so I'm okay. where it's at right now at 33. I mean, I'm kind of breaking even. But yeah, I'd like to get it to about $4 or $5, and then I'll get out of it.
I don't think it's.
luck.
I say it's going to be hard pressed to hit $1.
Yeah, I was about to say, if
Yeah,
it gets past
yeah.
$1, I'll be impressed.
I'll get out of it too when it hits $4 or $5.
I mean, the Vitalik, the guy that did Ethereum, he was talking about a collaboration between the two, Ethereum and Doge.
God,
Which one is the one
took
that
a
Tim-
6% dive today?
Which one is the one that
Bitcoin.
Tim Pool's always talking about that is not traceable?
That is not them. That's another one.
Is it
Monte
Cardano
Cristo?
or Ethereum?
Yeah, Cardano.
Yeah, I've got Cardano.
Cardano. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've only got like $100 in Cardano. So,
God,
Ethereum I had.
7.5% dip today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not watching the crypto market too much, even though I kind of am. I'm just like, it is what it is. But in all seriousness, I am thinking about buying probably about 150 to 160 ounces of silver bars. 10-ounce bars, that is.
Shit. My limit on silver is 20. If it's at $28 an ounce, I don't buy. If it's anything less, I buy.
Is that covering the premium?
No, that's before premium. So I end up at that. My premium costs bring me to about $33 an ounce.
Yeah.
At less than $28. So that's what I buy at. Anything lower than $28. And it just today the ask price is $28.08, but the bid is $27.98. So it'll probably open higher than I want to buy tomorrow.
I'm investing in a treehouse. So that's gonna just appreciate like hotcakes or whatever. So
Is copper and brass high yet? Because I got about 500 pounds of that stuff I need to bring in.
well, copper is tactically going up, but copper is always going up.
It's and it's still super cheap in comparison
I mean,
to actual.
yeah,
precious
but it's as far as it goes, copper is the best buy on the market because of its appreciation. But it's at such a low number right now that it's
it's traded in the tons, not in the ounces.
Yeah.
but still going strong.
Yeah.
And will continue to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got scrap copper I need to bring in to cash in so I can make an investment in something worthwhile.
You and every crackhead, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Just go in with some missing teeth. I'm sure they'll believe exactly where you got it if you take it to a scrapper.
And most scrappers I know don't bother asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do here.
I freaking wish they did in Michigan.
Hey,
Like,
Jay,
you could-
speaking of... oh, never mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of profitability and everything, do you still have your land?
Yeah, but they won't come out and farm it, or they won't come out and take the wood right now. Which I'm thinking is like the opposite. Like, shouldn't you want wood right now? Shouldn't you want the trees?
Well, I'm just going to say that your land is going to go up in value.
Yeah, but because of the rise in lumber prices, they're not lumbering. Which is like...
Well,
They're
part of the problem...
leaning into artificial scarcity.
Part of the problem is the
But I need the land.
lumber trade coming in from Canada. We're not accepting a lot of it. So they're creating an artificial price hike, which
Yeah,
is just like fucking with us tremendously.
it's fake. The lumber scarcity, the lumber rise in prices, it's all fake. They're expecting it to crash any day, so they're not. They won't come out and clear the land.
Yeah, because they didn't pay you too much.
Yeah, so they'll clear it for it literally takes like a month at a time because of the rooting, but so they have to put in a locked price at the start, and they're so worried about the prices they're just not doing it at all. And I'm like, that must be nice that you can just sit on your your money and not do anything for the month that you're not working. Good luck with that. That's it's not how companies make company. Like, I don't even want money for it. Just fucking clear the land.
Yeah.
But that's, they're just wrong. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing on it, which is like a little bit different. It doesn't appreciate the way, land with a building on it appreciates. But I appreciate the appreciation.
Yeah. I was just thinking, you could actually, actually maybe make some money and possibly pay down some of your debt and stuff. So mainly to me.
Land. Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm kidding, or am I?
Well, I'm going to assume you aren't, and my feelings are hurt. But if you are, then my feelings are still hurt.
Yeah. Whatever makes you feel better, princess.
Neither one of those makes me feel better.
Fine, whatever makes me feel better.
There you go. Now we're getting somewhere. What was the next topic that wasn't how much money I owe my friends? Black magic would fight me in real life. No, it was the emails? No.
Yeah, it was the emails because it's not China. We're doing China last.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, Garrick, you wanted to talk about Biden's emails?
Oh, just
And demonetization, because Garrick can't turn off Bonanza.
that wasn't me.
That was me, and it wasn't Bonanza. But it is from a company that is a little bit Sue happy, so yeah, I'm glad I nipped that in the bud.
Well, I'm just glad it's not my fault this time. But yeah, I have gotten some small details about some of the emails that Fauci's been having with a bunch of people, which pretty much just confirmed everything we knew back in, February, March, maybe? At the
March
latest?
of 2020?
Yeah, at the latest. So, why is this guy still working?
Because he has the audacity to lie to the American people on a weekly basis and still be loved. That is currently why he's still there. Which is why he makes
also
more
he's
than the
revered
president.
as a deity at this point.
Because there's a certain political class that is in love with the lie. They're in love with what the lie allowed them to do, what the lie lets them do, and they're invested in the lie. And if they were to actually, have principles and scruples, they wouldn't have that anymore, and they can't abide that kind of world. So,
yeah, let's not forget the Clintons were doing shady shit, but we knew what the shady shit was. They were lying to our faces, and it was still being accepted by the majority of media. And this is exactly that. He comes out and says, listen, herd, I almost said herd mentality, which is what Trump said. Herd immunity is this, this, and this. And then literally 2 weeks later, yeah, I overstepped the numbers on what herd immunity is because I wanted people to get the vaccine. So we're actually much closer to herd immunity than previously stated because I wanted people. No, that's a lie. You're lying. When you tell Rand Paul that gain-of-function research wasn't done, and your next statement is why you did gain-of-function research, that is a lie. When you say don't wear a mask because we need the masks for medical professionals, that's a truthful statement. You didn't say that. You said don't get the mask, you don't need a mask, and then a month later, everyone had to wear masks.
But okay, let's go back and look at that. It's a true statement that they were worried that everybody would buy out the mask stock and that would leave healthcare workers at a deficit. That's a legitimate reason to say that. But the thing he was saying then was that masks are ineffective, especially
masks are ineffective.
Correct. He was telling the truth then, and then he switched to a lie that masks are necessary.
No, the opposite. Well, kinda. An N95 mask will protect you from breathing in the COVID particles. We're not talking about N95 masks.
Correct.
We're talking about glorified shirt sleeves.
Correct. And that's
The
when he was
first
saying,
production?
the first thing he was saying was that you don't buy masks. Masks don't really help. And he was speaking about the ones people were making in their bedrooms, sewing shirt sleeves into masks.
No, the opposite. The whole thing was because of the medical professionals. Medical professionals use N95 or not N98 or 93s. Those protect you from particle inhalations.
Correct.
100%. They are effective.
Those
not
are,
the way
yes, but
these
that's,
idiots are using it.
well,
But
okay,
the mask
so,
he ends up suggesting are the glorified shirt sleeves.
right, they do nothing.
And they do
Except
nothing.
make people feel better and make you easily identify as somebody who can be cowed.
Yeah. And they've, because you're wearing this thing, you're...
Hey guys, we're getting a surprise guest. Give me 1 second.
Are you allowed to invite people? Did anybody agree on this?
I think everybody will be fine with this guest. When she decides to come in.
If it's Fauci, I'm gonna fucking.
Oh, that'd be great. Can you imagine that? We'd actually have viewership.
I wish. I wish. But no, continue on until she shows.
Nope, she showed.
Oh, hey.
Hi, Buns.
Hi, Victoria.
Hey, Bunny.
Hey guys.
Hey. Welcome.
Missed you.
Oh, this just takes me back.
Yeah. So Fauci lied. People died. That's how that works. He suggests, he was talking in essence about N95s, which do work. But then it kind of just all went into just masks in general. And now people have gaiters and people have literal shirt sleeves, freaking bandanas tied around their nose. And those don't protect you at all. And even what really irks me is the people who laugh at the people alone in their cars wearing masks. If this was, and it isn't, so it's 100% not as serious as it is, but if this was an actual pandemic, you 100% should be wearing a mask in your car. Not for the purposes of being alone in your car and not breathing it in, but you shouldn't be touching your damn mask at all. You put your mask on in the house with sanitized hands, and you wear that damn thing at your 3 or 4 or 7 different errands that you run, not touching the mask. And when you are done with your errands, you go home, you take off your mask, throw it away properly, and wash your hands. That's proper disposal and handling of a mask. But you see these people telling you mask issues, and they're wearing an N95, and they're touching it. It's like that lady who
pissed me off the most about Biden is every time he would give a speech wearing a mask, he could not keep his hands off of it.
Yeah. Or that lady, it was like, don't touch your eyes with the mask. Here's other things you don't do with the mask. Then she licks her finger and flips the page. And I'm like, oh my God, you people. Oh my fucking God, you people. But you know it's not serious when back in October or September or... Well, anyway, I because I'm not an idiot anymore,
Sorry.
we're never going to get monetized.
No, we were never going to get monetized to begin with, so I think we're safe.
Yeah, but back in several years ago, I took a hazmat course, which takes place in Arkansas, and it takes place in 129-degree heat. So when I got my secondary hazmat training, I did it in November. in a much cooler time of year. But you like my hazmat expiration expired during the pandemic, and they're like, no, you don't need to learn and revalue contagions in this atmosphere.
Right.
The you don't need to re-up your knowledge on hazardous materials and handling during a pandemic.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think anything that we've learned here in the last couple of weeks is that conspiracy theories aren't really conspiracy theories; they're just real life spoilers.
Yeah, like in 6-month intervals. Like you give it a minute and it'll come true. At this point, I'm really worried about International Dimension Lizard's demons with robotic arms. Because that is the only thing Alex Jones has told me that has not come to fruition. Because the elites are buying islands around New Zealand. Chimeras are not only real, they were just in a budget evaluation, and they were not ruled against as a practice in the United States. Obviously, groom with pride. Happy Gay Pride Month. The only thing is interdimensional space demons with robotic limbs.
Well, that's what those UAVs are, or whatever they're calling them, instead of UFOs.
Nope, I don't believe in that at all. We are alone in this world because Obama is pushing UFOs. You comfortable now, Bunny? You go.
Almost. I'm sorry, I'm bleaching my hair.
I think Garrick just brought you on to make more noise than he is. So
Hey.
That wasn't a note, Garrick. I just got caught.
Don't point it out. Jeez.
Pencil pushing Figget, never give up. I heard that he was masking the. Oh, Nephilim, nice. No, it's not. I'm a chimney sweep. You need a P99 or higher. Yeah, Fauci's just.
Well, and congratulations, you paid to have COVID created.
Brrrr.
Yeah, as of right now, that's What the hell is in my? Oh shit! I'm on my other channel. Okay, now I'm on me. Okay, good. Yeah, basically at this point, and Rand Paul is a soothsayer apparently. Like he always does something that just irks me, but right now I'm happy with him again. But he called Trump a racist in 2017. The Breonna Taylor Act is utter trash and didn't get passed, which I'm happy about. Just knock it off, Rand. So what? And something that also needs to be made clear: the Fauci emails are his work emails. Whatever CNN contributor was kissing his ass, they're not his personal emails. There's work emails. My work emails are actually worse than my personal emails. My personal emails are like the last 10 emails I sent personally were links to Josh for YouTube videos for these things that he doesn't attend. That's it. Like my work emails are, yeah, I understand work safety, but if you send me to another 10:30 in the morning work appointment, there's going to be safety issues because I sleep during the day. But yeah, you're supposed to be, in general, other than me, be professional in your goddamn work emails.
Well, and that's just the thing too that they're not covering is that he is being professional in these emails. What
Yeah.
we see in those emails is actually professionalism. The problem is that's not what he gave the public. He gave the public lies and political hogwash instead of the actual professional job he was doing, as evidenced by those emails.
Yeah, because you can't lie to other people in your profession because they know you're full of shit. Like, you can't bullshit your nonsense to another immunologist. She's like, I read the quarterly where we actually are doing funding to gain a study research. No. Other bat viruses that are contagious to humans. That's what we're doing gain of function on, not this one.
Right. And it all comes down to the plausible deniability of fungible monies and vernacular. We did fund gain of function research, but the way that it's written in legalese, that's not what the funding was for. That was the end result, but that's not how it was laid out in how the funding was allocated and distributed and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the whole mammograms for Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood doesn't do mammograms, but they do abortions. So that leads us to pressure in China, which literally this is about. Because if all this gain of function research, and if it was a lab leak, which it's looking more and more like it was, because apparently the Wuhan wet market that fed people raw bat asses never served anybody bat ever. And that's been stated since day one. Like, they literally have been saying, the wet market didn't have bats. But it came from the wet market. Oh, bat soup. No, there's no fucking bats at that wet market. But they scrubbed it. So this might actually be China the whole way. And that will lead to former President Trump, or if you're Guatemalan, real President Trump, is saying $10 trillion is the reparations China needs to pay to the world for their fuck up.
Which they won't.
But if it's proven to be from a lab leak, they absolutely should. They won't, but they should.
When has China done what they should?
I don't particularly trust the country. Oh God, that irks me so bad. How many people are there in China?
Several billion?
That's no. It's like 1.3. So it's not technically several. But in Asia, it's like 2.8 or whatever. Because India's in there, and India and China have like 1.3 and 1.5 or whatever billion. So we'll call it 1.5 billion. And Fauci's like, they'd be killing their own people. Like, yeah, that's the point. There's too many goddamn Asians. For 30 years, they had a one-child policy. Are you telling me that's too many? Like they wouldn't nuke, like even intentionally, you wouldn't nuke a city. Like if you've got that many overabundance of people in a time in which it's 7 dudes to 1 female. Like, you don't think that's going to be an issue? You don't think that's going to raise concerns? Like,
yeah, China might actually start a war just to cull their military.
Yeah, just
too many dudes.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like, how are you supposed to be an intellectual when you're not thinking? Like, too educated for your own good, apparently. Still a thing.
Well, not only that, but they attribute their way of thinking to literally everybody, which is a horrible mistake.
It's a cultural difference. They just happen to be taking all their Uyghurs and throwing them into concentration camps and thanking Mulan for doing it.
All right. Hey, I've got to hop off here. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Good to see
And
you.
I'll try to be on again next week.
All right, then.
All right.
All right, dude. Good having you.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Bunny.
Bye, everybody.
Wow, Bunny with a special buy.
Bye, Jay.
Yeah. See if you ever get your money back.
Uh-huh.
We all know you're not paying it back.
Hey, I got an extra $100 from working in the last month straight.
Woohoo! Somebody told me today that there's another stimulus coming.
That's what I hear too.
Oh, well, there's a child stimulus coming, so you're getting it. None of us are.
I knew I should have adopted last year.
I tried, but they were like, "Sir, we don't have any 17-year-old Vietnamese women," and I was disappointed.
And I told Howie if we adopted a Filipino child, we could pass him off as our own blood child easily.
I'm really hoping we had different motivations.
I guarantee you had different motivations.
There was an undercurrent to mine that was a bit on the shade. Sally, who are you talking about? Is this a Daryl Lamont Jenkins thing or who's that fucking guy with the tentacle porn? Eric Eichlin? Eichenwald. Eric something Eichenwald. Kurt Eichenwald.
Yeah, Kurt Eichenwald.
But that also wasn't an email, so Sally, do you have an actual person who has porn links in their email? I was on TikTok, and one of the TikTokers I follow is she's a OnlyFans creator who does TikToks, and she had a pretty dirty TikTok, and she's like, and I'm trying to grow my channel, so if you could push the share button and copy the link, it'll help me in the algorithm, whatever. I'm like, oh, fine, whatever the fuck you want. And I went to send a news article to my aunt, and I sent her like a mildly freaking atrocious TikTok instead. I'm like, hey, that's not the right link. Don't look at that. Here's the one I meant.
I've done that too much. I understand. I follow for being a married straight girl. I follow too many lesbians, and I accidentally sent one to my mom.
Uh-oh.
But who sent the porn links, Sally? Like, I'm waiting, and his next response was stimulus check. And I'm like, no, tell me about the porn link.
I'm trying to Google it to find out.
I think he's thinking about Eichenwald. Or whoever
Well,
the guy
Eichenwald
was.
Who
was the guy that got caught pulling his pud on a Zoom call?
Wiener?
I don't remember anybody pulling... Oh, that guy. That was...
He was a
that
journalist
really
of some
some
sort.
Moloch kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, oh, I was on a meeting call with, like, New York Times or some shit. And, I just dropped my pants and pulled out my wiener on camera. I'm like, my camera barely covers my shoulders. And he pulled out, like... Oh, that guy. Yeah, that wasn't an email. That was... Yeah, because... Daryl Lamont Jenkins had the Blacks on Blondes during like a live stream. Like, he was being recorded, and he pulled out his tablet, and it played on one of like the other one of the other browsers. Jeffrey Toobin's the masturbator. Kurt Eichenwald was on was sharing his screen on a link for porn.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the
So
porn guy.
yeah. So no one actually sent the porn link. All right. So I was confused for a second. Of course, Steve remembers Jeffrey Toobin. So yeah, China has their that tension, their tensions with China. Speaking of their tensions with Taiwan, I meant. There wasn't a really good response to Fast and Furious 9, so John Cena apologized for nothing.
I think it made it worse because you apologize and cuck to China and it doesn't help. It just continues the negativity for you in that regard, and then you just end up pissing off Westerners because you're a fucking cuck to fucking China.
Yeah, it didn't bother me per se because of how weak the apology was. Like it was, he apologized for a mistake. That's all he said was a mistake. A mistake. If anything, I think the Taiwanese people should be pissed.
Sure. Oh, there was an article today that I saw too that apparently Hong Kong is doomed. I mean,
Hong Kong, yeah, which is also not part of China that they keep claiming.
Well, it is part of China. They get with the fucking Brits gave it back like fucking morons.
No, it's under contention still.
Well, it's kind of like this autonomous free zone inside communist China that because it was an economic powerhouse and China wanted it back, they kind of had to, when they took it back, they're like, well, we don't want to lose the economic powerhouse, so we're going to go ahead and play fast and loose here, and then we'll just slowly tighten the noose as they're doing, and now they're past the point where people are squawking that the noose is tight and like it wasn't expected. And, yeah, the expats that live there are going to have to get the hell out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just because we don't see the riots doesn't mean there aren't still riots. We're based on, look at alternative news sources. You're not going to find the, what are they, Yellow Jackets?
Yeah,
is that the ones in France?
Yellow vests in France.
The high-vis vests, whatever they are. They're still rioting.
Yep.
Just the regular news isn't covering it.
France is on the verge of a civil war.
Yeah.
In Wales, they had a big march over freedom, like freedom of speech, freedom of, to live your life the way you want to live it. It was more so the conservative leaning, more right leaning, our version of right leaning.
Well, I'm predominantly Anglo-Saxon, so my view is fuck the Welsh.
I say the Welsh have been conquered for 1,000 years.
Yes, but I mean, you wouldn't see that in the news.
Yeah,
I mean, their own news, their own local news weren't even reporting on it.
Yeah, well,
that's because their local news is English.
Yeah. They're paying their television licensing fees to the Crown, so yeah, they're not going to cover it.
Yeah.
What news? English? I had a transition here somewhere, but oh yeah, Tim Pool talking about Annie No. Tim Pool is just wrong. He's not Ian levels of wrong because that's hard to get to in a short period of time. That takes like years of mind-altering drugs. Dear God, that man. But yeah, if I go to Portland for the protests and the protesters attack me, that's news. If I don't cover the protests in Portland, that's still goddamn news, Tim. It's all news.
Well, Tim is taking this route where he's personalizing a lot of shit. He's been getting shit for years that he doesn't cover anything anymore because he's too recognizable. And that makes some sense that you don't do it because you are too recognizable. You don't want to be the news if you're covering news. Hang on, I'm not done. At some point, you've got to give the coverage you want to give. But if you are a celebrity, And in the case of Tim Pool, he is. So he feels bad that he's not doing live reporting anymore, that he's not going out and covering anything. So his attack on Andy No, about Andy No's attack, is basically Tim's guilt for not actually doing the job that he assigned himself to do a decade ago. Because he can't, because he's too big. And the same can be said for Andy No. Andy No probably shouldn't do that because he's Andy No and they know him and they want him dead. So it was kind of dumb on Andy to do it, but on the other hand, at least Andy was doing it. Tim, get off your fucking ass and go do your goddamn job.
Yeah. Andy No is now Andy Known.
Yes.
Yeah, yes and no. It's not my fault someone attacks me. Whether I provoke them or not.
Correct.
That's not on me. That's on them.
This is basically what she was wearing argument.
Yeah, for the most part. So I go down there to honestly report on the situation at hand. And when you start attacking me, that is the situation at hand.
Right. And so Tim's basically arguing that Andy was asking for it by being Andy No.
Well, what were you wearing, Mr. No?
Exactly. It's Tim is making that argument. He doesn't. Because he's put himself in that position and is projecting his own guilt for not doing what he says he did or used to do onto Andy. Tim is blind to that understanding that. Yeah, the crowd is wrong for attacking them. On the other hand, it is good advice to not dress like a slut if you don't want to get raped. You know, it's one of those things. It goes both ways. It both can be true at the same time. It is wrong to be raped if you're dressed like a slut. On the other hand, if you don't want to be raped, don't dress like a slut.
Mm-hmm.
Both are true.
Andy should have went in blackface. Well, what do you guys think? Besides Sully, we clearly know where he is. He went to the Ralph Northam School of Journalism. So anybody else who didn't go to Blackface U, how are you feeling about that particular situation?
I mean, the news does need to get covered, but I do agree with what Tim said a few days after, I think, when he had Seamus on from Freedom Tunes, which is Andy needs to get to this point where he can start a little business, a corporation, and actually hire people and kind of outsource the work.
Disagree.
Really?
Yes. No, not technically. Technically, I don't disagree. I think that's right. But it doesn't matter because they are attacking all journalists. You have, they make you, if you go down there with a camera, they will stop you and make you agree to this list of rules or they attack you. That's any journalist. Anybody with a camera recording their criminal activity, because this is criminal activity they're doing. Literally, if not a local crime, a federal crime, because we have a freedom of the press here.
So what we
this
need
is
we
America.
Need Veritas, Project Veritas level hidden cameras on people that are in Portland.
Just going to all the Tinder profiles and getting dates with these Antifa assholes. And, by the way,
Tinder?
Ashley St. James was
Grindr.
that's what I meant. Damn it. Ashley St. James was the girl in the last hit piece with the CNN production guy who was like, oh yeah, we all agreed we were gonna fuck up Trump. I would have done the same thing. Ashley James is cute. I would have gone Mission Impossible in my amount of lies I was telling her to get her into bed. Yeah, if you're not Unicorn Riot, basically, you will get attacked by the Antifa group. And they're 100% on the side of Antifa, so you can't cover it from a non-biased source. This isn't being embedded with ground troops to protect you, especially if you're dumbass like Geraldo, where you draw a map in the sand to your exact location to be bombed by anybody watching your channel of news in Iraq in 1994. You dumbass. But what did you guys think of last night's hoax hate?
I was only
With
half paying attention. Which one?
The Republican one.
Let's
I think
see.
I think it was just a little bit too much of. Do you guys remember when Trump was making like those really good executive decisions that we were still all upset about because they were executive decisions, and they were executive orders, but they were good ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, why are you making an executive? Well, actually, I agree with it, but why are you doing it that way? That is basically how I feel like this particular hoax hate went.
See, I think the only hiccup in me going all out, it's fake, is the other graffitied areas. You know, so I'm kind of with maybe the other graffitied areas are real, but she just kind of jumped onto it with her own little graffiti bit. That's kind of where I'm at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If it is fake.
I think
I
it's
try to-
entirely possible. It's just a bunch of dumbass suburban kids doing dumbass suburban kids.
Of course, that's my
Yeah.
alternative. That's the
And
most
she's
likely
capitalizing on it.
thing.
She's just capitalizing on it.
Of course.
Mhm.
That's the most likely one.
That's what I feel was, because none of it was actually directed at her. Like, it was support the pro act or whatever. But it wasn't dumb white bitch or the C word sprayed it. To me, the spray painting on her sidewalk and then low on her house, it was cowardice. Like,
It was
at
teenage
two-
miscreants doing something nefarious, but nothing too damaging.
yeah, not that they would have cared if it was on her siding, but the siding was actually at a height that would have been a little bit awkward and kind of too close to a window. Like, if you're fucking around at 2 a.m, a spray paint can sounds like the same level as a gunshot. If you're the one with a spray paint can in your hand, like it's the loudest sound in the world because you're a coward,
Hypersensitive?
really.
Yeah.
Like there's no other noises. It's 2 a.m. You're not gonna hear, like, if somebody was outside my apartment right now, spray painting against my window that's 7 feet away from me, I'm not gonna hear it. But to them, that's the loudest sound in the world.
Well, yeah, especially when you're right up on it doing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So low away from the window and on the streets, I believe it. Like, there was one a couple years ago. It was supposedly a conservative waiter, and they said, like, you're black, you don't get a tip or something like that. And he got a couple thousands of dollars in tip, and then it came out that he didn't. Also came out he wasn't particularly conservative. It's just not in our nature as non-victims to play the victim card, except in her case. And let's face it, these hoax hates are directed against conservatives.
Yeah.
Like, when you say "go home N-word," who wrote that? You literally have an idea in your mind that white straight male wrote that, and that is the foundation of the conservative movement, the Republican Party. Those are the characteristics. So you are blaming them for not doing it. Who's she supposedly blaming? The people out there with actual spray paint cans? The people out there actually breaking things? Like, I'm sorry, bumfuck South Dakota or South Carolina. You know, just apparently they drew a dick somewhere. No, that was like the other thing they did. Like, apparently vote on the PRO Act, and here's a dick. The only thing I didn't like was the anarchy symbol, and I'm like, no, you can't have the anarchy symbol and demand somebody vote for something you want.
Right. No, that's what leads me to believe it's just dumbass suburban kids.
Mm-hmm. And then the handwriting analysis. I actually took handwriting analysis in college. Those A's are nothing alike. Her loopy A is connected at the bottom. The spray painted A's have a wide base at the bottom.
Right. Well, and handwriting comparisons don't make any sense when you're talking about two completely separate methodologies.
No.
Spray painting
It's a
is
hand on a pencil, and you're writing with your whole fucking arm.
Right.
You're right.
Spray painting, you're literally pointing something and moving your arm around to do something. It's completely different.
Yeah, and I like how they showed a word with like 3 eyes in the line, and they only circled 2 of the eyes because it helped with their point, even though it didn't.
Right. Now that's a fool's errand to go down that road.
Yeah.
It was just suburban kids. Could it have been female? Sure, could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, that N-word was like the prettiest N-word I ever saw in that second line.
Oh my god.
It's like there's not really enough hate in there.
Yeah, it's like you guys watch South Park, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, 20 years ago.
So you know Classy, the hooker.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well she was in an episode or a few episodes in season 21 or 22, one of them. It reminds me of that kind of handwriting.
Good lord.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, my handwriting's sloppy. So if I was spray painting something, it would be block letters. But yeah, handwritten note that just has like the happiest G's I've ever seen in the N-word. I'm like, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, just not sold.
Yeah. And technically, that wasn't an anarcho A. The A for anarchy, the lines cross. The A is bigger than the circle.
Yep.
That was an A in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have been like a club or a group or something like that. But the same thing. I just can't imagine, like in high school, I would scribble the Dead Kennedys logo, which is a D and a K. And that was their logo. And, you know, whenever I would be doing something, I would scribble that. I gotta imagine if you're a fucking Nazi, you're scribbling your little swastika on your pages. You've had the practice. You don't make a Z with 2 horns on it or whatever the hell. The spray paint in the kitchen counter thing was weird, but it's also the wrong color.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that could have been like when she originally moved into her house. She was spray painting cabinets. My wife, when we moved,
spray paint on the counter was gold metallic. She was obviously doing some sorts of arts and craft project.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When my wife, she spray painted some chairs when we moved into the new house and got a new kitchen table. She spray painted the table and the chairs, like she sanded them down and she spray painted them. And for like 2 days, I'm like, it's really weird. We just have paint on the kitchen counter. So it's not unheard of. You only have so many places to put that shit. No one has the spray can end table.
Especially if you're expecting to use soon.
Yeah.
Like you're in the middle of a project.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Now,
I don't think that was hoax hate. I think it was just something that happened that got capitalized on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. She capitalized on it.
For sure.
But who doesn't? Shit, AOC's capitalizing on her owning her own abuela right now.
Again, I'm going to go with the road less traveled, and it wasn't that Matt Walsh didn't do a good thing. It wasn't that AOC, was too noble to take the money. It was the fact that if she took the money, she'd get caught for fraud.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
in fact,
AOC's entire shtick is fraud.
In fact, I want to see more of that.
Yeah.
Like the next time they come up with something like that, make a GoFundMe for it.
Yeah, not only that, but a news crew needs to go down there and verify that that's actually true.
Mm-hmm.
Go to AOC's abuela and say, hey, we hear you've got some trouble. We just want to, put you on the news, make sure that you get, shown so that this gets taken care of as soon as possible. Go in there and see if that's real. I'll bet you it's not. I'll bet you it's not real at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was real, it was from when it happened, and it's been rectified, and it has been rectified for a long time.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Let's see a timestamp on those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had for like I had some dry rot in my bathroom, and we had an earthquake, and it completely fucked up my flooring. So I took pictures of it, and for like a year, I had those pictures on my phone. Because a pipe underneath that went to my hot and cold water was the whole night it was spraying against my floorboards, and the whole floor clashed in, and they had to replace it, which is awesome because I work days and they only work days, so I had to deal with not having a pisser and dealing with that for the 3 days it took for them to replace it. So I had those pictures on my phone. That could have been, if there was like a disaster or something, that could have been something I would post later. Like, hey, look what happened here. I think, Bunny, I sent the pictures to you, right?
Jeez,
Bunny.
What?
Did I send you the pictures of my bathroom with the flooring ripped out?
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah. So at the time when it happened, I sent those pictures to my friends. That's why you didn't get them, Garrick. And it explains why at that time something had happened. Like if I was going to claim some bullshit, I would do that now. Pictures are saved somewhere. They're not on my phone anymore. It's a new phone. But yeah. So who knows when those pictures were taken? Like, of course, they had to be taken while it was damaged to show the damage.
Right.
But when they were aired, who fucking knows?
Exactly.
I'm sure I still have them though.
All right, I guess I won't be using that in the future to get out of work or something. Just don't talk to Pam, and I think I'll be fine. But yeah, who? So in the future, we will be donating to GoFundMe's for any claims they make to own them.
If they don't take the money, then we know it's fraud.
Yeah. The second one, though, some friend of hers, the hoax hate, started the GoFundMe, so that's questionable. But this wasn't like yeah, maybe they own a power sprayer, which clearly they didn't because the man was scrubbing the graffiti.
Well, why would you go down to Home Depot and rent one?
Yeah, I mean, well, really. Because it costs money.
Yeah, but less money than the time and effort it's going to take you to do it by hand.
Yeah. Can you just wait for a rain? Like, probably $3 for a spray paint can.
I mean, what are you're gonna pay what? Deposit of like $300 on the power sprayer, but it's only going to cost you like $75 all said and done, plus whatever water you use. Go slap that sucker on a credit card, and I know they have a credit card because they're white.
Sully Toy says, PR love Trump. Someone is looking into it. Well, yeah, but very recently, as of today, Kamala Harris took a trip down to the good old island nation of Guatemala. I don't know where Guatemala is. Is that an island nation?
It is not.
Did it flip over if it had too many Marines on it?
No, it is directly south of Mexico in Central
It-
America.
Is it on the water?
Both sides of it, yes. Both sides of it have water.
So, is it connected to Panama?
It is not directly, but it is directly below Mexico on the Atlantic, which I guess is still technically the Caribbean there, I think. I'm not exactly sure.
Is it on the Atlantic or is it in the Gulf?
Well, it's below the Gulf.
Oh.
Here, I'll bring up a map.
Actually, I don't know shit about Guatemala. I know a bunch about Uruguay, though, because in 7th grade I did a report.
I mean, it's home to the old Mayan sites.
There's a map of Guatemala. On the south, it is by the Pacific Ocean, and a small portion of it is on the Atlantic because Belize takes up most of the coastline that they would have if Belize didn't exist.
Everything I know about Belize is from Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, facts.
So Kamala goes down to Guatemala, and I should have done this while Josh was here because he's like 157th Guatemalan. Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, from where Guatemala is, and then El Salvador, and then Honduras, southern to that is Uruguay, somewhere south of that.
Yeah, way south, and actually a lot east. Uruguay.
Actually, yeah.
Over here.
It's next to Paraguay. For some reason, Uruguay and Paraguay are next to each other.
Paraguay, and Uruguay is way down over here.
Yeah, well, my report was on Paraguay or Uruguay. I don't know shit about Paraguay. So
yeah, it's the Caribbean on the north side.
Okay, yeah.
3 countries away from Panama.
If you look there, you can see the Belize airport where Carmen Sandiego visited, and that's all I know about that. We should pay more attention to a map. So Kamala goes down there, and she's greeted with signs that say, "Kamala, Trump won."
Mm-hmm.
And they were really shitting, like they didn't care for Biden at all.
Yeah, the ones who like him all came up.
Yeah, that's about right. What was the other one? That Kamala Trump won. Kamala, mind your own business. Kamala, go home. These are pictures from the New York Post.
Didn't she hand out cookies that look like her too?
All right, here's the thing about them. A black-owned business made those cookies for the VP, and when she received them, she handed them out to the press pool. So, like, she didn't pay for the cookies. She didn't eat the cookies. Somebody said the grossest goddamn thing about, in the picture, she's wearing the necklace Willie Brown gave her. And it has 2 pearl necklaces. And I'm like, oh, you fucking way to ruin cookies for me, you bastards. But yeah, so it wasn't her buying the cookies or anything like that, which would have been weird. But she was gifted the cookies, and she handed them out to the press pool.
Okay, so that's really besides being weird, it's really a non-story.
Yeah. Here is the visual representation of me. Eat it.
Eat it like Willie Brown did. Get in there, get it all over your face.
Like, oh, that's nasty. First off, I don't like frosting covered cookies. Save
Neither
that
do
shit for cupcakes, which is actually backwards because I think it would be easier to eat a cookie with frosting on it than a cupcake.
You haven't learned the cupcake trip where you take it out of the wrapper, pinch it in half,
I did.
And put the bottom on the top and eat it like a sandwich?
Yeah, I did. I've never done it, but I haven't had a cupcake in years.
That's how I eat my cupcakes. That's the only way to eat cupcakes is to turn it into a sandwich.
Yeah.
This is the correct way to eat a cupcake.
Sally Toy says Kamala's MO, giving away free shit.
Or keeping you in jail. One of the two. There's very little in between.
Yeah. God damn. Tulsi murdered her on that. Murdered her so bad she had to be VP.
Yep. Nuked her from orbit. It was so devastating.
God, yes, it was.
And yet she's the VP. And we somehow elected a senile old fool.
We didn't elect shit.
Fair enough.
If you look at like any, if you look at the by states, Democrats do not win states with voter ID laws. That should tell you something right there.
Yeah, well, it's hard for the dead to show ID.
Mm-hmm. Like, will my gravestone marker work? Like, only if it's a pauper grave that's state-issued ID. But, yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, that's a weird source of pride because her father is the black man of the family. Goes around bragging that they weren't slaves; they were slave owners. And I'm like, is that a source of pride, sir?
Means your ancestors were smart enough to not get put in chains, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Like, I have a friend, a former neighbor, who is from the Ghana, which is where Kunta Kinte is from. And it's a lot of where the selling of slaves happened at. And they learned a history that is very different from our history. But, yeah, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. I don't trust history anymore because pretty much everything I learned in history class is some bullshit. But I'm looking at today, and I'm seeing that history in the future is going to be even more bullshit. Because there was that story about Tom Cotton that's getting updated like months later, 15 months later, 17 months later. They're changing. Tom Cotton gives arguably false evidence against mask wearing or whatever the fucking story was, to Tom Cotton blatantly pushing fringe conspiracy theory. Turn out it's going to be a fact next month. But as of right now, the conspiracy theory that the Wuhan lab is responsible for coronavirus. Love how media can't decide if she's the first Asian American or first black. Yeah, because she's both. It's like she's the first female VP.
She plays whatever one up works for her in the moment. And honestly, what else are you gonna do? I mean, I don't even. It's not really even non-starter.
I watched the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy this week. So get out your Brownings and have a good old time here. Axel Foley is basically a beloved member of the Detroit Police Department. And then he goes to Beverly Hills 3 times for 3 separate reasons. And it's really only racism in the first one. That's not even racism. Like, no one in that movie is racist. But Axel Foley treats it that way. Like, is this a black thing? It's like, no, this is an asshole cop thing. This is ridiculous. It's the least racist movie out of any movie I've ever seen, but he uses it to get his way in scenario after scenario. Axel Foley is a con man with a badge, which is like a cute movie premise, but watching it, in today's light, like there's some problematic shit here. But highly enjoyable movies. Like, I love Judd Reinhold, and he's a ridiculous character that is slightly lovable.
Yeah.
And he gets worse as they progress. So, like, in the second one, he's all gung-ho as shit. Taggart's hilarious as well.
So after last night's movie review, do you understand why I don't want Matt to watch Big Trouble in Little China?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He didn't get it. Like, there's like some arguments, but in an original draft of Groundhog's Day, Phil was in Groundhog's Day for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Now, there's some people who argue at minimum it had to be 8 years because of it takes that long to master certain things that he mastered. But it's like, yeah, no, that was a punishment. He was evil. Or the punishment was evil. Like, he went crazy.
Mm-hmm. Not only did he go crazy, he came back from. He went so crazy he came around again.
It was full circle crazy. Like, yeah. AOC, halfway there. She's gonna start making sense in like 5 years. But at minimum, the argument at minimum is it would take 8 years, like 7 months and 13 days to the piano, the language, the memorization, to know all the things he knows. That's on a minimum. But in one of the original drafts, he was stuck in there for 10,000 years, and it did get lightened up. And he's not wrong in the analysis, because technically that 10,000 years isn't canon. His ex-girlfriend Stephanie at the beginning, she placed the curse on him, and it wasn't about selfishness or whatever. It was about being happy. He just one day of being happy, and his little perfect day, even though he failed to save the homeless guy. Huh? The bum, yeah. He ended that day being genuinely happy, and that's what broke the curse. The selflessness helped, but he's just a miserable bastard, and that's what the curse was. So yeah, 10,000 fucking years of the same day. But yeah, it was muddled, and from the original to the rewrites, it lost pretty much everything, which is a shame, but that's what rewrites do. You bring in one person.
I mean, he's right in the fact that it was trying to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
It was a little bit dark, it was a little bit comedy, it was a little bit drama, it was a little, all this other shit. And then you toss in the hokey forced Andy McDowell romance, and yeah, I mean, that's you get what you get. But it muddles, the end result muddles anything poignant on any of those topics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could have been.
But to be fair, who doesn't love Andy McDowell?
Oh, dude, I used to work with a guy that hated her face.
Seriously?
Yes, and I never understood it. He's like, she's so dopey looking. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like, Hudson Hawk, I loved her.
Yeah,
and she was an awful character, and I still loved her. Sister Anna?
But he had a thing for Tilda Swinton, so.
Oh. Ew.
He's a little weird.
Yeah. She almost got to the level, Tilda Swinton, of what's her fuck? Samara Weaving. I can't stand seeing her face. She's in. I enjoyed her in Ready or Not, and a couple other things, but she's in things she has no right to be in. Guns Akimbo or Guns Up or whatever it's called with Harry Potter. No damn reason to put her in it. And she was in that movie. And like, it's like, holy shit. Just either decide she's attractive or not and put her in that role. Stop putting her in everything. Like, I'm sick of seeing people in roles they have no right to be in.
Have you guys already talked about the
Yes.
the movie review?
We're talking about it right now.
Oh, okay. So what did you guys think of his review? Just
rewind 5 minutes and listen.
Yeah. Like,
just give me the like 10-second summary.
The movie is darker than it gets credit for. And his review was basically not off, but it wasn't
wrong, but it wasn't right either.
Yeah, it showed a lack of comprehension of the totality of the form.
Yeah.
And which
is exactly
honestly
the reason, and this is for Garrick. Garrick, it's exactly the reason I don't want him to watch Big Trouble in Little China. He'll miss the greatness because he's too focused on what he focuses on during a movie review.
Well, this is kind of the thing. I learned this from listening to Jordan Peterson. There's levels of analysis, and he seems to be stuck on kind of the little nitpick things. He doesn't look at the broad picture overall a lot of the time. Mm-hmm.
No, because he's watching it at the wrong time of his life.
I don't know.
He wasn't there. Like, it'd be like watching Red Dawn for the first time in 2002.
The original.
Yeah. Like, we were on the upswing. Things were good. Things were nice. Watching Red Dawn in 2002 would be stupid.
Yeah, you miss
Like,
all the context.
It's a point and time in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Not your livelihood or anything like that. But
it's a point in time in history.
Yeah, at that point in that time, Red Dawn, amazeballs.
Well, that's just about any movie ever made ever. Even if it's fictitious or not, it's about a certain thing at a certain time.
Dude, you weren't there for 20-Year-Old Virgin. You don't get it. The 40-Year-Old Virgin. The Pineapple Express is a work of art if you watched it live.
Well, a good example is Top Gun, and I will go out and say this: Garrick is incapable of understanding Top Gun.
I've watched it a million times. I think I get it.
You don't.
No.
I guarantee you don't, because it's about the Cold War, and you weren't alive during the Cold War.
Except I understand the Cold War. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you don't have the context of literally being forced under your desk by your teachers as an explanation to a nuclear bomb going off over your fucking head. There's a context you're not going to understand. It's like watching a silent movie from the time.
You don't understand how badass the F-14 Tomcat was. Like, it was king pimp shit air superiority, even though it's not an air superiority fighter. But it was one of the most magnificent offensive weapons we ever had in an appropriate time period. It was so much more that
till the F-16 came out, and then the F-22.
Yeah, but at the time, Margie comes out with
do you know what the most effective air superiority fighter is we have
right now?
Yes.
Air to air?
Yes.
I want to say it's the F-22, but you're probably going to say something else.
Yeah, it's not the F-22. It's the F-15E Eagle.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a contemporary of the F-14 Tomcat.
Yeah.
The F-14 Tomcat is a assault fighter. It can do fighting, but it's made for assault. It's made to take a heavy payload and unleash it onto a target. The F-15E is designed for air superiority dogfighting. But because it was a movie about the Navy doesn't fly F-15s. They were flying F-16s, which is a better air-to-air fighter, but it's not as cool as the assault weapon that the F-14 was. That's why the F-14 was the one that was showcased in the movie.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And they had to change it to the F-14 because the Navy was wholeheartedly in agreement with that movie. They gave levels of access not seen since Apollo 13.
And if the new Top Gun ever comes out, you're going to see him in the F-16s.
Mm-hmm.
No, the F-18s. The 18s. Because
yeah,
that's what the Navy is using for air superiority, is the 18s. The 18 is also an assault vehicle, but it can't carry nearly the payload that the F-14 could.
Okay, so back to the movie that Matt was watching. Do you think there's a moral of the story?
No, not really. Like,
No?
I mean, you could derive one from it, but no. This literally should have been something different than what it was. This was a sick and twisted punishment for a scorned woman against her asshole boyfriend in the original writing of it. And it got tweaked and changed and caressed and rubbed, and Bill Murray is a lovable asshole. He's the Jay Fry of Hollywood. So
I'm sailing.
Oh, fuck! I love Bob. Oh, I mean, I'm Richard Dreyfuss, but I love Bob. I'm Doctor. Anyway, enough of what about Bob. He's got a level of charm which is not active in most of Hollywood today. Tom Hanks, fuck him, but yeah, good, charming fucker he is. So a lot of the cruelty that was against Phil Connor was wiped from the script, and it lost a lot in translation, really.
Okay, boil it down. If you had to pull a moral from the story, what was it?
Don't be a dick trying to bang your coworker. I mean,
no, it's learn to be happy with what you are.
Well, I was going to say was, do you guys know the story of Sisyphus?
Yes. We actually learned things in school.
Okay, so what's the story?
Do you want the story of the boulder or the fucking push?
Yeah, the boulder.
What the? It's the Sisyphean task of a fucking never-ending push. Like it's Sisyphus, the douche that he was his punishment for being Sisyphus was to push a boulder uphill forever. Right.
So the moral of the story is that he's like Sisyphus, living every day over and over and over and over again. He's pushing the rock up the hill and getting nothing out of it. So what you have to do is try something different and keep trying something different until things change for the better. That's the story. If you don't like where you are, change what you're doing.
No.
That I got out of it anyway.
No, Sisyphus, if he wasn't pushing the boulder kills him. It's a one-dimensional platform. Like,
by the way, you do know why he's punished in that sense, right? You know what he did?
In the original writings, he scorned his girlfriend, because Stephanie, at the very beginning of the movie, is his girlfriend. She punishes him with the movie
Sisyphus.
Oh, Sisyphus. Give it to me. Lay it on me, Big Daddy.
So he cheats death by finding him and chaining him down. And then when he doesn't die, Hades finds out and releases him. And so they punish him. But then what he tells his wife to do is to not observe the rituals, not bury his body. So that way when he dies, they have to send him back because the rituals weren't performed. So he comes back to life and dies again.
No, yeah, he cheats death twice.
Yeah. So on the second time he dies, that's when he's punished to roll the boulder for cheating death.
I mean, yeah, like if you want to take a moral out of Sisyphus, it's don't try to escape your failures.
Or your fate.
No, the moral of Sisyphus is don't think you're clever enough to cheat death.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as being too smart for your own good.
Yeah. But it's more about accepting your failures as you accept your accomplishments.
Well, and that's probably more of the lesson of Groundhog Day.
Was there a top? Like it was a slope up, but did it roll back down to the bottom? Because
Yes.
I've seen paintings.
The Sisyphean task is labeled as if he succeeds, which he doesn't do every day, that the next day it rolls right back down. Every time he gets to the top, it rolls right back down.
Yeah, it rolls over to the other side.
Okay, because I thought it was he would push it up, and then when he would go to sleep, he'd be back at the bottom.
I don't think he sleeps.
No, he doesn't get a break. But a lot of the punishments are like that, though. They're like efforts with no end or no success. It's like filling the pail with holes in it, and was one I remember. And there's a few others.
Is it Prometheus that gets his liver eaten every day?
Yeah, by the eagle. Yeah, for bringing fire.
Yeah, but I thought somebody released him.
Yeah, he was freed by.
Was it Jason or Hercules?
I think it was Jason. It might have been Hercules.
Could have been Jason, but I think it was Hercules.
And I think it was Hercules. So yeah, there's the Prometheus got freed. Sisyphus didn't. What was the other guy with the couldn't eat?
Where everything turned to dust in his mouth.
Yeah.
That was.
Zeus came to him as a beggar and then said, "Oh, actually, I'm Zeus." And so they threw a party for him, but he wasn't sure if he was Zeus or not. So he tried to feed Zeus person.
I don't remember which one that was. I know King Midas couldn't eat because everything he touched literally turned to gold. So every time he would touch food, it would turn to gold and became edible. So Midas ultimately died because he couldn't eat.
Yeah.
But you're right. The guy who anything that they put in his mouth would taste like ash.
Would turn to ash. Yeah.
Would turn to ash, yeah, including water. Let me look that one up. That's a good question.
You have to look it up. Like, who is the guy who made ash? Hades had a shit punishment for a while.
Tantalus.
Or not Hades. Who?
Tantalus.
Tantalus? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he killed his son and fed him to the gods.
Yeah. Well, try to. Not Hades. Loki. He got hit with acid on the eyeballs for all eternity for a while there. Like there was it a poison snake in a tree, or was it a poison tree? Or yeah, he had a really shit. I mean, he's an asshole, so he gets it. But what was the story of? Loki's punishment. Lies in a cave, bound to a rock by the entrails of his son. A snake fastened to a stalactite above him drips venom into his face. And Sigyn, who's Loki's wife, catches the venom in a bowl, protecting Loki from harm. But the bowl's overflowing. Like the bowl fills with venom, so she has to dump the bowl away from Loki so it hits him in the face. It's a fucked up thing in Norse mythology. So tied to the entrail, tied to a rock by his entrails of his son. Which son is that? Which son? Is it the wolf? Yeah, Marvel went really weird on that last with Hell, and that giant wolf was supposed to be Fenrir.
Yeah.
And that's Loki's son. So I'm like, why is she in league with Loki's?
Marvel's a little fast and loose with the Norse myths, if you hadn't noticed.
What?
Yeah.
So Thor isn't a surfer?
No.
Yeah, I was for killing Balder. Isn't Balder one-handed? Is that Balder? Or is that
the dwarf?
No, that was a completely different Thor movie. Wait, no. Fenrir and Hel are twins, right?
Who?
Hel? Loki's daughter, guardian of the Norse underworld. Hel, Hel.
Hang on, let me look it up.
Oh, fucking grab it.
Norse myths, Hel.
Did Loki have twins? In Norse mythology, Nafri is a son of Loki, referred to a number of sources. Nafri and Nari. Son of Loki, Nari. He is also called... so he's killed by his brother Vali, who was transformed into a wolf. Wolf became a wolf, and his brother...
The problem with Norse mythology is it's basically exactly like Marvel is with their comics and their...
It's the same thing.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, Thor's birthday is December 25th, and his resurrection... All right, let's do... How many kids did Loki have? All right, he had 3 children. Sigyn was introduced being married to Loki and have a son named Nari or Nafari. Otherwise, Loki had 3 children with the female...
One was the female was Hel, and she's described as gloomy and downcast and ruling over the underworld. Then there was a snake child and a hound child.
Well, yeah, Jormungandr and Fenrir. So
Fenrir is actually Loki's son?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's like they didn't have Hugin and Munin in the Marvel movies either. I think they had Hugin for a quick bit, but they don't really show it.
How the fuck can you tell?
Well, because there's one quick scene.
No, there was. Yeah. At the fight with Loki and Thor and Tony Stark and Captain America.
No, there's one scene where Thor's coming to talk to Odin, and they quickly show Odin talking to a raven.
Oh, well, like a pet raven?
Well,
no, but in the scene with... Yeah. There's another scene where he lands in Central Park with where he's looking for his dad. Loki lands with like handcuffs on, and he's on the ground, and there's a pigeon, and he gives the pigeon a shady look. And I'm like, that's funny. But no, when Thor rips Loki out of the plane and they land, there's crows in the background, ravens in the background.
Yes, there is there too, but yeah, there's only one direct allusion to that, and it's literally Odin talking to a raven, and it's like 3 seconds long, and if you it's real easy to miss. And he makes some sort of offhanded comment. He's like, "Yeah, they tell me things," or something like that.
So how do you know if it's thought or memory?
I don't know.
Because you're the one who's like, Hugin. No, it's Munich. No, it's Hugin. No,
I'm assuming it's Hugin. I'm assuming it's thought.
I think only one of them talks to him.
I'm assuming it's thought.
Like one sees and one communicates, because it's thought and memory, and I don't know how the fucking things are separated. Boulder was the most beautiful of guns, blah, blah, blah. Loki tricked the blind guy into throwing a so. Yeah, Boulder was this point. There's also a story of how Thor had this stupid hammer, in which it was supposed to be like the baddest weapon on Earth, like are created by the dwarves, and Loki was like fucking with the measurements. Like one guy was in charge of the head of the hammer, and another guy did the handle of the hammer. Yeah. And he like, so it's a short hammer. And I'm like, oh,
intentionally a short hammer because it's basically supposedly it makes it useless as a weapon of war and overweighted for an actual hand tool. So it's the worst of both worlds, but somehow Thor makes it work.
Yeah. What was I looking up? I was just about to look up. One-handed Norse god. Tyr. Tyr's the one-handed. He's Odin's son, Tyr. Yeah, okay. So he's the oldest?
Tyr?
Yeah.
Well, in the Marvel universe, it's Thor, but again,
there's only Thor.
Marvel isn't exactly true to the myths because the myths are like the original Marvel and confusing as fuck. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all weapons do have flaws, so that's not anything new.
Except for the Loki pokey stick.
Daggers have reach issues. Unless you're talking about the brain one.
The Loki pokey stick that Thanos gives him that has the Tesseract in it.
Sully Toy says Groot made the handle of Thor's axe according to ancient Marvel scripture. Yeah.
Stormbringer.
Yeah. God, I want to get like a weapon I love so much that I name it. Like currently, what's your AR's name? I'm like, that's Jeff the AR. Jeff the AR. Like my favorite is a lock.
I want to be like who was the Carl Urban's character in the movie and get two ARs and name one.
Those are M16s.
Okay, either way, I want to get I want to get one, and what did he call him?
I don't remember a name for them. That scene, like it was like he was talking with those girls.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Okay, I want to get one, and I want to call it cancel culture and block button.
Yeah. We should. I bet they actually had some sort of significance. The names, and I just wasn't paying attention, and
it was something horribly cheesy.
Oh yeah, let me see. I'm gonna find it on YouTube.
Find it and find us with names, because if it was like pain and suffering, those are actually Hades or Ares' sons' names or something like that. Phobos and Demos, yeah. Like so, like if it was something like that, that'd be kind of like
Daz and Troy.
Who?
Daz and Troy. Destroy.
Oh.
Put them together, it's destroy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
sorry,
knew it was
that's-
something
that's
cheesy.
shit.
I still like. I want one to call it cancel culture, and the other one block button.
Yeah. So that's actually like I enjoy things like that, like Remus Lupin.
Mm-hmm.
Remus being the one of the two founders of Troy, raised by wolves. Remus,
Right.
and Lupin is the mother of the wolf was Lupina.
Well,
Okay, so I found the story that I could remember that stuck in my head of somebody trying to fill a bowl that was full of holes. So the story is that there was a king and a brother, and they each had 50 kids. One had 50 sons, the other had 50 daughters, and they tried to make them marry each other. Well, all the wives except for one killed all the husbands on the wedding night. So they sent the 49 brides to hell, saying that they had to fill this bowl with water from the river Styx to wash their sins, but they couldn't do that because the bowl was full of holes.
Well, if you went to Leafy, they wouldn't remember anything anyway. So,
True.
So that would have been just as good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the story of not the story, but the name Alaknosmus in for Percy Jackson's sword in the Percy Jackson series. It's Riptide. And I'm like, man, it'd be so weird to have like a really cool name for a gun like that, though. Like this is Stonebreaker. This is
well,
Rumspringa.
obviously, that's what you call the Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like this is fuck you, my pistol, fuck you. This is my
So
rifle.
you have more
Hey,
of
you
like
over there, fuck you.
You have a more of a taste for names like they have in Game of Thrones.
I didn't Game of Thrones.
You didn't do Game of Thrones?
Fuck no.
Well, they name weapons the same way you do, like Widow's Wail and Ice and a few others.
Oh no, I like the old ones, the old names, like Stormbringer or like Wall Knocker Downer. But no, I read, what the hell did I read from George Martin? I read something, and it was like super rapey, and I don't need that in my life. So I stay away from him, and I knew coming out with Game of Thrones, yeah, I don't need that in my life. What sucks is Terry Goodkind, I think it was Terry Goodkind, has Legends of the Seeker, I think is his thing, or Terry Pratchett, or one of those. Anyway,
It's not Terry Pratchett.
Whatever. One of those motherfuckers named Terry. I think it's Terry Goodkind, and like it's a story of like rising up against the odds, and there's all sorts of like shitty things happening, but I get around it. And then like book 5 is just super rapey, and I was like, dude, oh come on, that's no.
I highly recommend Terry Pratchett to everybody. He's really good.
Yeah. I suggest you start at 1 and work your way through 143 disc worlds.
They're all good. And they're all different, which is amazing.
But it's honestly, it's like 137, isn't it?
Let's see. I don't know the total count. I think I read most of them. Let's see. How many disc... Whoops. 41.
141?
No, 41.
What? No bullshit.
No. Okay, so he's got several series. Discworld novels, there are only 41. He's got 6 or 7 other series that have 6 to 10 books in them as well, that also take place on Discworld, but are not Discworld novels. Because they kind of transfer into our world too. So they are not directly Discworld novels.
Right. How many novels in the Discworld series?
41.
41. Complete Discworld series. Color of Magic. Yeah. Discworld and books. Chronicle Order. Need to discover Discworld in Order. Terry Pratchett's dead. Terry Pratchett's dead. That sucks.
He died like 2 years ago, and yes, it was sad.
Dude, 2015.
Fuck.
That's 6 years ago.
Fuck.
Oh, that sucks bad. Terry Pratchett died of early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah. And he was aware of it the entire time.
Oh, my God. That would suck so bad.
And then he's written several books with Neil Gaiman. He's done... he's just one of the most prolific... I mean, he's right up there with Stephen King as far as being prolific.
Yeah, but he's good. So he's not that close to Stephen King.
That's true. Again, all of his books are good in their own way, each delving into a different topic. Mm-hmm. And he was an amazing author.
41 Discworld novels published over 32 years, which means that his 10 and 12 other book series with 10 and 12 other books are within that 30. Jesus, that is prolific. But again, I don't like J.R.R. Martin for the rape scenarios. I don't like Stephen King for the child fucking. Or children orgies, if you will.
Well, it's kind of the reason I don't like Neil Gaiman on his own. I mean, there are things that Neil Gaiman does that I like, but I don't like Neil Gaiman.
What's he done?
Well, he did the Sandman comic, which is one of his more famous things. He's actually written a book on Norse mythology, which is actually really good.
Like the American Gods is him too?
American Gods is him, which was okay.
Oh, that was the bitchiest thing I've ever heard from you.
I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like... He's like one of those people that's famous for being famous, so everybody thinks he does is fucking, the best thing ever, and it's not. I mean,
I think they think he wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think that's what it is. I know that was Douglas Adams.
That was Douglas Adams, who was also... I mean, I would put Douglas Adams and Terry Pratchett together before I would put Neil Gaiman with either of them.
Okay.
But I mean, Neil Gaiman is good in his own way, but he's too lauded, too famous for his own good. Like, Terry Pratchett deserved to be more famous than Neil Gaiman is and never attained it. Same for Douglas Adams. Deserved to be more famous and just never got it. Neil Gaiman got it and doesn't deserve it as much as either of those two did.
Yeah, I think like, as far as it goes, like, It, completely overdone. The Mist, completely overdone. Dreamcatchers is a far better book than the majority of the shit that gets put out there by Stephen King.
Hang on, you can just butt in, Bunny. It's fine. Take yourself off mute.
Did she raise her hand or something?
She sent us a text.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You want to bash on my shit, go ahead.
No. I gotta go for the night. I was just saying good night and that I missed y'all, and it's been fun.
All right.
Night, Bunny.
Talk to you soon.
Night. Don't be strangers.
I'm just strange. It's just how it happens.
No denial there.
You're still mad at that. I only sent pictures of my destroyed bathroom to my friends. Are you still heard about that one?
Nah.
No, I think I sent it to the group chat, didn't
I have them for some reason.
Yeah, like I saw, like I had, like fucking earthquake. Didn't feel it, but my bathroom got destroyed. Like, I felt it was important for everybody to see. Like, I had no floor in my bathroom for 3 days. Did you get Garrick's recent set of hostage photos?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, in no point in any of those pictures are you not holding her.
He's afraid she might leave.
Exactly.
Like,
how dare she try to get away?
Like, this dude's got a grip on that bitch. Richard Bachman is a better writer than this. I like Chuck Palahniuk. Chuck Palahniuk is responsible for Fight Club, but he's got other books and really good. It's just text messages, Margie. Like, you do not want to be any part of that group. we text each other stupid shit, and then like somebody will find it interesting and somebody will not, and then it'll just be a complaint about the person who found it interesting. You know, it's just dudes. Just dudes being dudes.
Thanks, Stewie.
Just dudes. Have you ever seen a live reading of a Family Guy?
Mm-mm.
You should watch it to just understand how crazy Seth MacFarlane is.
Yeah. How fast and effortlessly he switches.
What was the Chuck Palahniuk book with the writers at a hotel or like a resort by themselves? I can't think of the name of that book, but oh man, that was a fucking book. All right. I'm a big fan of series, and Chuck Palahniuk is one of the few authors I own, like just standalone books. And I have 440 Audible books.
The Running Man. Underrated Arnie movie.
Yeah. Haunted. Yeah, it's Haunted. That was a good book. Especially my favorite was the pool filter death. That was quite awful. And then I saw it in one of the Final Destinations, and it was equally as awful as I imagined. Survivor, yeah, that was Invisible Monsters. I haven't read that one. Yeah, Running Man was nothing like the book. Yeah, just a smidge. You know. Then again, neither was Langoliers, but just.
Yeah, but the movie was awesome.
Speaking of Langoliers, Bronson Pinchot, also in Beverly Hills Cop. I forgot how many comedians were in the Beverly Hills Cop movies in like small roles. Like, apparently Eddie Murphy had like a lot of say in casting. Because believe it or not, Judd Reinhold was a comedian.
Not a good one.
Yeah, not particularly a good one. But he had a lovable charm to him, and he got in movies.
Right. And it's kind of like Joel Robinson from Joel Robinson. I think it's Joel Robinson, the guy who did the original MST3K.
If you say so.
Yeah. Okay. So he was a stand-up comic, and then went off to Minnesota to do this MST3K thing, and then blew up because it was perfect for him. It was like his wheelhouse. So that worked out well for him. And it's kind of like Harry from Night Court. What was Harry's last name?
Harry Anderson?
Harry Anderson, yeah.
He was a magician.
But he was a pseudo comedian magician. And that was like
he was a comedic magician. Yeah.
Yeah, comedic magician. He wasn't as good as Amazing Jonathan, but he
Well,
did.
Amazing Jonathan isn't good though.
He's a better comic than a magician.
Yeah.
Whereas Harry was a better magician than a comic, but again, found a role in TV and landed it, stuck it.
Mm-hmm. Nailed it. I loved him in Night Court.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's so weird to be like the most famous person to come out of that. You would think would be John Larroquette, but it arguably is Richard Mole.
It is Brent Spiner, sir.
God no.
Yeah, Brent Spiner is more of a household name than Richard Mole or John Larroquette.
Yeah, but I was talking about roles.
Okay.
God dang it!
Poor Margie Post.
Did I? Yes. Is this a desk of? Hold on. New phone, so I find like every once in a while I'll find like an app that isn't loaded, and I just IMDb. But yeah, all right. So, because I can only think of Independence Day for Brent Spiner. Brent.
He's Data from Star Trek.
Yes, but as far as filmography goes, he's got 98 as an actor. Actually, John Larroquette was in please autofill on this fucking name. Thank you. Like I don't know how to spell Larroquette.
I don't know how to spell Larroquette either.
John Larroquette's got 109, so arguably more roles. Actually, John Larroquette was the narrator for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And scrolling down to the bottom, his first boom, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. His second credit, Sanford and Son. Episode of Kojak. Three's Company. He was a cop in Three's Company. He, of course, did the obligatory Fantasy Island because he was an actor in the 70s. He was Captain Stillman in Stripes. Episode of Mork and Mindy because apparently John Larroquette was a comedian, I guess.
He does have comedic ability.
He's got decent timing. Twilight Zone. He was in Twilight Zone. The Last Ninja. He was in Star Trek 3. Search for Spock. Meatballs 2. Remington Steele. He was the narrator in Life Force. I actually loved Life Force. Blind Date. Second Sight. That's the movie. Love that movie. With Bronson Pinchot. And here we go. 1984 to 1992. Night Court. 193 episodes. He apparently was in all 193. Jesus.
Was there only 193?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so 99, 109, and Richard Mull, 179. He was in Sleigh Bells. Oh, that's right. He was in Circus Kane. Fucking terrible movie, but I forgot he was in Circus Kane. But he started acting in 1977. So same with the other two. He's an episode of Welcome Back, Kotter. How the West Was Won. 2 episodes of Happy Days. Hold on. Wait for it. Oh, not in the Love Boat. Apparently he was too tall for the Love Boat.
Apparently.
He was in 2 episodes of Brett Maverick, which, by the way, I had no idea that there was an original Maverick when I watched Maverick. So I got the whole. It was a surprise to me. Episode of Mork and Mindy, T.J. Hooker, also Remington Steele, Fantasy Island. He was in Fantasy Island.
Is this Richard Mull or John Larroquette still?
Richard Mull.
Okay. Because it sounds awfully the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, I forget it was the 80s, man. Alvin Goes to School, Combat High, is Crag and Survivor. Yeah. He was the Krugen in the TV adaptation of Highlander.
I actually like the TV show better than I like the movies. And I know that makes me weird, but whatever.
Not particularly. I mean, first off, continuity is just fucked on Highlander. But he wasn't technically the Krugen. Yeah, he was. He had a name. Slan Quince. Yeah. Oh, he was in Sidekicks. I don't remember that. One of my favorite. He was just this random asshole in. What was that Silence of the Lambs parody? No. Loaded Weapon. Loaded Weapon was Emilio Estevez and Samuel L. Jackson pretending to be Martin and Riggs and Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon. And he was just this attendant who was like, they go in to talk to Hannibal Lecter, and he's like, when you go in there, stay to the left, you know, and then he sits back down and he stands up. He goes, "Stay to the right. I meant stay to the right." And because they're on the left hand side, the prisoners had grabbed them, and Samuel L. Jackson is beating the butt of his gun against the prisoners' hands because they're holding Emilio Estevez. Just parodies are almost better. Well, the 90s parodies were better. And even the what are the ones with the Scream, the mock Scream, not Shriek, but the
Scary Movie.
Scary Movies. Those are on par with like 90s parodies, but like the new ones with like I had never watched the there was a time when I had never watched the Twilight movies. Fuck you, Garrett. And I had seen the whatever the parody was like Once Bitten or whatever the fuck it was called. Bite Hard or whatever it was. And there were 2 parts of that parody of Twilight that were so shit and annoying to me. I had to watch them to make sure they weren't in the movies. But they were literally verbatim taken out of the movies. And I couldn't believe how stupid it was. One was when Edward breaks up with Bella, and there's this montage of her sitting staring at the window, and like the seasons change, and it goes through like 10 years of seasons. And I'm like, that's stupid. That's really in the movie. And then another part was whatever, because it's not Bella and it's not Edward, it's like Smellward and Fella or whatever their names are.
I forget which parody that was. I think I saw it. Vampires Suck, I think was it.
Yeah, Vampires Suck.
Yep, saw that one.
And the other one was when she did something dangerous, Edward would pop in and say something. And the first one was all right, but the second time he popped in, he was like in the middle of a shower, and she was doing something stupid, so he had to like stop showering to warn her. And I'm like, that is so fucking dumb. Also in the movie, not the shower part, but him popping up in like a ghost form to warn her against their nonsense. And like the 2 stupidest parts of the movie were blatantly exactly taken out of the actual movie. And I was like, that's so sad.
Now I want to watch Spy Hard.
Oh God, Spy Hard is so good. Those movies could have been worse if casting wasn't so on point. Like, Not Another Teen Movie, excellent cast, but it was a '90s ripoff, 90s parody, so it counted. But like the after ones, like the Vampires Suck, and those are shit. Hot Shots, great parody, and the highest body count in cinematic history. And there's like war movies that should have a higher, like Platoon should have a higher body count, but Hot Shots had like 272 kills or something like that. At one point there was like he had an M60 and like unlimited ammo and just motherfuckers running like downstairs of like 4 different areas, and he gained like 110 kills in like in a minute and a half. But my favorite, John Cryer, is in the first Hot Shots, where he's where it's a Hot Shot ripoff of the Top Gun, and he sneezes on the radar, and he's like, "Oh my God, so many planes appeared." They're all heading south in large numbers. But I think John Cryer was actually in Top Gun. So let's look that up real quick.
That would have been contemporary when he played Ducky in Pretty in Pink. I don't think John Cryer was in Top
Gun. Well, let's see. Jesus, Val Kilmer's not looking great. Anthony Edwards, of course, is looking great. I forgot Michael Ironsides was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Ironsides was in Highlander 2, and it was awful.
Yes, it was. Michael Ironsides is famous for making B movies tolerable.
Dude, excellent villain. And a good actor, because I didn't hate him as the teacher / fighter in
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers, yeah. Okay, so I am clearly yeah, he was Tom Skerritt. Tom Skerritt's questionable to me. Like, I like him, but he was in Poison Ivy with Drew Barrymore. And Drew Barrymore was like young. And I am not sure if he was making out with Drew Barrymore or a body double. And he won't answer that question, which raises concerns to me. Yeah, he wasn't in Top Gun.
Yeah, he was.
No, not
no.
Talking John Cryer.
Tom
Skerritt was definitely in Top Gun.
I was going to say, what are you saying? He was definitely there. I remember.
Yeah. No, my bad with the computer.
Tom Skerritt was also an Alien, which is a better.
I did not recognize him the first time I saw him. Then I saw Tom Skerritt was in there somewhere. It's like, wait, what? I had to look real hard.
He played the fucking captain.
Dude, he does not look the same with the beard. He does not look the same.
He also was in Contact, so he's got not to be confused with Steve Guttenberg, who was in
Cocoon.
Cocoon, thank you. With Wilford Brimley. Thank you very much. Tom Skerritt's only got 169 credits, so
he chose wisely.
Yeah. He's not Bob De Niro by any means.
I have absolutely no respect for Bob De Niro.
As he's a good actor, I'll tell you that.
Is he?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes I like him.
In what?
Ronin. Mad Dog and Glory. Did I mention Ronin?
Yeah, I was going to say he was okay in The Godfather, but it was typecast.
Well, yeah, like
I mean, he is typecast. Almost all 90% of his roles are typecast.
I mean,
yeah.
the furthest stretch you can get out of him is Taxi Driver, and that is also kind of typecast. I mean, it shows the most range, but outside of that, it's range of something he's known for anyway. I mean, you could say Meet the Fockers, maybe.
No, because he played the
that's-
same fucking guy.
Yeah, he's basically a granddad in most of the movies nowadays.
Right, but I mean, he was showing some comedic range with Meet the Fockers.
I got nipples,
That's
Greg.
fair.
Can you milk me? All right.
Kevin Spacey is a good actor. Still a douche, but a good actor.
Oh yeah, but I don't like him. I liked Ronan, the character Ronan. Kevin Spacey doesn't have a character I like.
I like the detective he played in L.A. Confidential.
I don't really remember that movie.
He's a semi-sleaze bucket, but a semi-sleaze bucket that ultimately had a good heart, tried to do the right thing, and paid the price for it. So,
Like Midnight Run. I liked him in Midnight Run. Mad Dog and Glory, yeah.
what was that? One? Was it Get Shorty? Was it? No, it wasn't Get Shorty. It was the other one. It's the one that flipped back and forth between the fake movie they made and with John Travolta in it. What the hell movie was that?
What?
It's a movie about Hollywood, about a guy like a mobster from Miami that goes to Hollywood. And it's the main character is played by John Travolta, but there's like this subplot of like they're making a movie about this guy, and like Danny DeVito plays like an actor in it, and
Be Cool.
Be Cool. That's the movie I'm thinking of.
I don't remember.
Kevin Spacey's in it, and he swaps.
Oh, Kevin Spacey. I thought you were talking about Robert De Niro.
No, he swaps places with Harvey Keitel. So like I can't remember which one's which. Either Harvey Keitel is the actor playing the character that's played by Kevin Spacey, or vice versa. But I thought that was a really good use of Harvey Keitel and Kevin Spacey because they've kind of got that similar. I don't know what presentation.
I don't remember, but yeah, I do like me some Harvey Keitel. Stardust. I liked De Niro in Stardust, which he plays a fag captain. But he really isn't like the point of the movie at all. He's just a side character. But he's a badass murdery pirate captain, and he's a cross-dresser behind the scenes. Which just goes to show, apparently, I like Robert De Niro as a duplicitous bastard.
Well, it's true to type.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you're not confusing him with Willem Dafoe?
Was Willem Dafoe shit? Because I really liked him in Boondock Saints.
There was a bar fight.
What a fag.
You're such a fag. Slapping that Puerto Rican in the face or pointing his nipple or whatever. I couldn't stand the other guy. Not the brothers, but the other guy, Tommy Two Toes or whatever. Tommy Two Thumbs. Tommy.
I'll catch you on the flip side. That guy.
Yeah. Who was then replaced by freaking Gonzalez. Oh god. It's not rocket surgery. I do love that line though.
All right. Well, we've been going for 3 hours. Do we want to wrap this?
Well, we're making up for last week.
True.
Somebody couldn't be here.
I know. Somebody had to take his kids swimming in a barbecue on Memorial Day.
Swimming and a barbecue? Or swimming in a barbecue?
Swimming and a barbecue.
Well, it's Arizona, so I couldn't tell if you were trying to get like cool down or just standing under hot coals or yeah. I could deal with a pee break.
Okay. Well then, let's get out.
All right.
Get out.
Yeah. So we had about an average of whatever the fuck we had in people, and I didn't even send out my link, so I think I'm gonna not be sending out my link anymore.
I say we had average numbers.
Yeah. But I sent that link out to like 8 people, and the only one who ever shows up is Steven. So just like fucking personally invite Steven from now on. It'll save me time. Let's get out of here. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Not all.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will